Hello everyone and welcome to another card video. Today we're using a lot of things and I changed it up a little bit while I was going, but I ended up using Your Next Stamp Happy Everything stamp set, Happy Die, circles with stitching and piercing, pine tree branch, and wonky circle sizes. Some new stuff and some old stuff. I've got a piece of Neenah 110. I'm cutting it down to about a ½ inch shorter than a typical A2 front card panel. This is Stampin' Up's Falling Snow embossing folder. And I've got a piece of Crafter's Companion acetate. We're making an ornament, okay? So I got the wonky circle sizes die and the circle die, and I've cut it out together to make like a circular ornament. And now I'm taking two circles to make the pieces of the acetate. It's going to be a completely see-through shaker portion. So you're going to see the falling snow in the background. We're cutting two pine tree branch dies out of Papertrey Inks Pinefeathers, I believe it's called, cardstock, forest green cardstock. So I just cut two of those out. We're making a little sprig of pine, and I'm adhering them together with a glue dot. So we're using ruby slippers, Nuvo drops here, but I also, in the pictures that I took, I used ruby red liquid pearls. So I changed it up. What does it look like?
It looks like a tree.
A tree?
With strawberries falling down.
With strawberries falling down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
It could be.
I like it.
Thank you. I like you.
You too.
You're so sweet. I love you so much.
But is that a whale shark? It is a whale shark.
So I'm taking the 1/4 or 1/8 inch score tape, and I'm just using this to adhere all my shaker pieces parts together. So we've got the two pieces of acetate. And I'm making the shaker out of Scotch 3M foam tape, double width. Okay, so it's two layers of foam tape. That's all that was needed. It's much easier to manipulate the foam tape after you take the backing off. I've cut the Happy Die 4 times out of Tailored Expressions Earl Grey cardstock. We're going to do a layered die cut here. I'm going to adhere them together using Ranger's Multimedia Matte. Just got to get all of the pieces out, which takes some time. So to keep this very fragile word die somewhat in shape, I'm putting it back into where I cut it out and using some washi tape to hold it still so that I can adhere the layers together. Once you get a couple of layers adhered together, it starts to come a little bit more rigid. It starts to gain some rigidity, so you can take it out of the die and it's still formed the way that it was intended to be. So I'm just using small drops of Ranger Multimedia Matte to adhere all of these layers. I end up using 4 layers. I also tried to use some liquid spray adhesive on another card of this same technique, and I messed that all up. So I'm going to have to practice using the Elmer's spray adhesive to do this. I know that it could be easier, but I've got to learn a technique because I got spray adhesive everywhere. My fingers were sticking together. So do not try this at home. I changed my mind while I was creating, and now I'm doing holidays on the acetate that I've already put together. So this is a terrible idea. Don't do this, but try to stamp your acetate before you make it into a shaker. So, but I did it. This is the Marvy Snow Pen. It's a liquid that you heat up with your heat tool, and it puffs up and it looks just like snow. It could be snow, it could be wool, it could be anything that needs to be puffy, like Santa's hat. But here I'm using it to make it look like snow. So I put a couple different layers of it on, and I also learned that you can burn it. So be careful with that. Don't hold the heat on too long. So I'm trying to put everything together here, and I'm making my pine branch inside the shaker. So here I'm just lining it up, and then I'm going to trim off the excess that's hanging out, making it look like the pine branches inside the ornament. And then I'm adding some Distress rock candy glitter in the center, just to give it a little bit more snow and something to shake around in there. So I'm using a glue dot on the back side of my ornament to adhere a piece of twine, red and white twine. So I'm putting it on the shaker, and then I'm using a piece of tape, just regular wrapping paper tape, to adhere it to the back of my panel and trimming off the excess. So I've used tape runner adhesive to tape down the panel, and now I'm tying a bow. I learned how to make a bow from Martha Stewart, not like personally, but on TV. I was watching Martha Stewart and she was teaching everyone how to make a bow. 2 hoops and you tie the hoops together. And so that's my bow tying technique from Martha Stewart. So I'm just fiddling with that for like an hour. And then we're adhering the word die with multimedia matte right to the ornament, so it's popped up on the ornament. And that's it. That's pretty much my card for today. The pictures are showing a different, a little bit different card, but same technique, same principles. I hope you enjoyed it.
What are you?
I'm the zombie.
It's kind of creepy looking. You're like the cornholio zombie.
From the giant octopus?
Say, I am the great cornholio.